In a quaint village, a young boy, Daki, embarked on a sunny day to the lush garden that he and his mother made when he was young. Daki was eager to gather herbs and vegetables for his mother's favorite stew. The vibrant colors and earthy scents filled the air as he carefully plucked basil, thyme, and ripe tomatoes. Upon returning home, a chilling silence engulfed the house. Unease settled in Daki's heart as he walked through the silent house. As he walked into his mother's room, he discovered the unthinkable. His mother had been slaughtered while he had been gone. The once warm room was now cold and painted in the dark color of crimson. Struggling to comprehend the cruel twist of fate, Daki clutched the freshly picked produce as he fell, frozen in place by fear and guilt. The garden that brought joy and sustenance had become a bittersweet reminder of the day his life had been changed. As Daki stood in shock, unable to move, his father arrived home, weary from a long day's work. Horror etched across his face as he saw Daki in front of his lifeless wife's body. Daki tried to explain the devastating truth about what had happened, but his father, consumed by grief and confusion, had ignored his son's explanations. With tears streaming down his face, Daki's pleas fell on deaf ears as his father, overwhelmed by anguish, accused him of the slaughter. The family bond shared by the father and son had been shattered in a matter of seconds, and Daki found himself cast out, disowned by the only family he had left. Heart heavy with sorrow, Daki was forced to wander through the forest in hopes of finding civilization. While on his journey, he had encountered a strange deer that seemed to follow him wherever he went. After what felt like ages, Daki and the deer had stumbled upon a village, carrying the herbs and vegetables he had picked not too long ago. He tried talking to the people in the village. The same villagers who had once known him as a cheerful boy now looked at him with suspicion and fear as Daki tried to explain his situation. Gossip spread like wildfire about the tragedy that had befallen upon his family, but no one seemed to believe the stories. Alone and broken, Daki sought solace in the garden he once shared with his mother, finding a small measure of comfort in the familiar rustle of leaves and the scent of blooming flowers. As he left the garden and ventured deeper into the unknown, the dense forest swallowed him whole. Shadows danced among the ancient trees, and eerie whispers accompanied each step. The solitude weighed heavily on his shoulders as he sought refuge from the accusations that haunted him as he tried to forget the tragedy that happened just under an hour ago. Suddenly, with a low growl resonated through the stillness, freezing Daki in his tracks. Panic seized him as a pair of glowing eyes emerged from the darkness. A fearsome creature, with fur as black as midnight, lunged at him with razor-sharp claws. Fumbling for a makeshift weapon from the fallen branches, Daki fought back against the strange monster, the struggle intensifying amidst the towering trees. The air filled with a clash of desperation and wild roars, a dance of survival in the heart of the mysterious forest. Strangely enough, as he tried to fight off the creature, he noticed it looked strangely human. Bruised and battered, trying to defend off the creature, Daki managed to repel the creature, its haunting growls echoing as it retreated into the shadows. Alone and shaken, he continued his journey through the unforgiving woods, his resolve fueled by the need to prove his innocence and find a sanctuary amidst the looming trees. In the midst of the forest's enigmatic depths, Daki encountered a peculiar sight, a strange-looking deer, adorned with ethereal markings. Surprisingly, the strange deer followed him with an otherworldly grace, its presence providing an odd sense of comfort in the wilderness. As they pressed on together, the forest gradually revealed a hidden secret, a village nestled between the ancient trees. The villagers, wary of strangers, cautiously welcomed Daki and his mysterious companion. The deer seemed to radiate an aura of protection, earning the trust of the villagers and forging an unusual bond between Daki and the strange deer. Daki tried to share his story with the villagers, hoping to clear his name for his mother's tragedy. The villagers, touched and unsure of his story, gave him a place to stay temporarily. As he and the deer stayed together, they embarked on a journey to unveil the truth about what happened that night with his mother. As time passed, Daki and the strange deer had to leave the village in hopes of finding a place to settle down in. The deer had guided him through the dark forest and open fields. As he ventured deeper into the unknown, Daki encountered diverse landscapes, from meandering rivers to mist-covered valleys. Yet, the shadows of his past lingered, an unrelenting reminder of the trials he had been forced to face. Determined to prove his innocence, he pressed forward, the mystical deer by his side, an unwavering companion in a world that seemed both enchanting and indifferent. In the distance, the once silhouetted skyline of a small city polluted by artificial lights came into view. Deki, accompanied by the mystical deer, entered a realm of bustling streets and indifferent crowds. The stark contrast as the forest left him feeling both overwhelmed and disconnected. As he strolled through the labyrinth of urban life, the deer continued to follow, its ethereal presence a source of comfort amidst the impersonal cityscape. The neon glow of signs and the harsh sounds of the city surrounded him, a stark departure from the tranquil solitude of the forest. Tired and yearning for a moment of rest, Deki stumbled upon a modest motel tucked away on a quieter street. The flickering neon sign labeled Evergreen Motel beckoned him, and he decided to seek shelter within its walls. The receptionist regarded Deki and the mystical deer with a curious glance but refrained from questioning their peculiar presence. As Deki settled into one of the rooms, the city's relentless pulse became muted by the motel's walls. After a long rest, his strength had restored itself, but he still had a burden by unanswered questions. Deki and the mystical deer resumed their journey through the cityscape, their destination uncertain. With every step, the city's concrete landscape gave way to suburbs and eventually open spaces, as if nature itself was trying to reclaim its territory. Driven by the need for answers, Deki went through the city's archives and sought out local experts, hoping to unravel the mystery behind the attack on his mother and himself. The mystical deer, a silent companion, continued to guide him with an unwavering loyalty, never leaving his side. As they explored the outskirts of the city, Deki attempted to search for answers about the strange creature that had attacked him in the forest. With the city's hustle and bustle fading into the background, Deki and the deer pressed on, united by the quest for truth and the hope of finding a place to call home. As they wander through misty forests and empty hills, they become drawn to a house on the side of the mountain. As Deki approached cautiously, he noticed an old man, seated outside, sipping tea, looking up at the sky, then moving his gaze at Deki and the deer. After the old man saw them, he invited them to join him. Deki shared his story, recounting the trials that had led him to this tranquil place. The old man listened intently, the lines on his weathered face reflecting a lifetime of experiences. In a surprising turn, the old man spoke of ancient legends woven into the fabric of the mountain, tales of mythical creatures and hidden truths that echoed Deki's own journey. He offered guidance, a map to understanding the mysterious forces that had shaped his destiny. As the mystical deer grazed peacefully nearby as Deki sat with the old man, Deki realized he had stumbled upon a sage, a guardian of ancient wisdom. In the shadow of the mountain, amidst the quiet atmosphere, Deki found not just refuge, but the potential for unraveling the enigma that bound him to the past. The old man, with a cryptic smile, extended an invitation to stay with him. In response to the old man's offer, Deki had asked the old man to help him learn how to wield a blade. The old man's eyes twinkled with a hint of understanding. Nodding slowly, he agreed to share his knowledge of blade mastery, sensing a determination in Deki that mirrored his own experiences. Days turned into weeks as Deki, guided by the old man's patient teachings, honed his skills with a blade. The mystical deer, content in the mountain's embrace, roamed freely in the surroundings, a silent guardian in its own right. As the bond between teacher and pupil grew, the old man imparted not only the art of swordsmanship, but also ancient wisdom that transcended the physical realm. Deki absorbed the teachings like a sponge, finding solace in the routine of training and the profound conversations shared over cups of tea. In the mountain sanctuary, Deki had discovered a sense of purpose and belonging. The old man's home had become a haven for both him and the mystical deer, a refuge from the harsh journey that had brought them here. Together, under the watchful gaze of the mountain, they embraced the opportunity for growth, healing, and the pursuit of the truth that continued to elude them. As the days passed, the old man's teachings became more demanding, pushing Deki to his limits. The once patient mentor adopted a stricter approach, challenging him to unlock untapped potential. Deki, determined to improve, embraced the rigorous training despite the growing intensity. However, with the increased pressure came a haunting consequence: restless nights plagued by vivid nightmares. In the darkness of his dreams, a mysterious figure with golden red eyes haunted Deki's sleep, leaving him unsettled and drained upon waking. Fearful of being perceived as weak, he kept the dreams hidden, a silent burden that cast a shadow over his waking hours. The mystical deer, sensing Deki's inner burden, stood vigil beside him during the moonlit nights. Unbeknownst to Deki, the old man, with a sharp gaze, observed the subtle shifts in his pupil's demeanor. Yet, the unspoken understanding between them held, and the mountain's teachings continued, a tapestry of discipline and mystery woven into Deki's journey of self-discovery. With the passage of time, Deki had grown into a skilled swordsman under the old man's tutelage, and a sense of restlessness stirred within him. Feeling the call to discover his own path and purpose, he made the decision to bid farewell to the mountain sanctuary. Taking only a bag of coins and a katana, gifts from the old man, that symbolized both practicality and a legacy of knowledge, Deki and the mystical deer set out once again. The mountain, now a distant silhouette on the horizon, echoed with the memories of training, wisdom, and the silent camaraderie that had defined his time there. As they ventured into the world beyond, Deki carried the weight of his past, the dreams of the strange creature with golden red eyes, still lingering in the recesses of his mind. The open road stretched ahead, promising new challenges and revelations as he sought a purpose that would align with the skills and wisdom he had acquired in the mountain's embrace. Hidden in the shadows, Deki found himself in a new village with the deer. As he ventured through the small village, he found himself eavesdropping on a conversation between two people, the conversation unfolding in the dimly lit building. The hushed voices spoke of a death, details weaving a tale of danger. With a trained ear, he absorbed every word, cautious not to reveal his presence. As the discussion continued, Deki's instincts sharpened. The mention of a name or a location could be a breadcrumb leading to the answers. He sought about the tragedy that befell upon his mother. Patient and silent, he awaited the right moment to slip away unnoticed, ready to follow the trail of information that might finally unveil the elusive truth. After some time he quickly ran from the scene, finding himself at a deserted alley. As he took a breath, a man approached from the shadows. A chill had run down Deki's spine as he found himself face to face with the very thing from his nightmares, the one with golden red eyes. The alley's shadows seemed to dance eerily around the mysterious figure, causing the atmosphere to fall flat. Instinct kicked in, and Deki's hand instinctively grasped the hilt of the katana at his side. The air thickened with tension as the two locked eyes, each sizing up the other in a silent standoff. The street sounds faded into the background, leaving only the distant echoes of the conversation about the death ringing in Deki's ears. The encounter held an unspoken gravity, and as the figure with golden red eyes began to speak, unable to understand the words, Deki's journey took an unexpected turn, propelling him deeper into the darkened realms of his past. In the blink of an eye, the once serene alley transformed into a battleground. The mystical deer, loyal companion to Deki, leapt forward, attempting to shield him from the menacing figure. Yet, with a ruthless push, the mysterious man effortlessly cast the deer aside, leaving Deki vulnerable. The man took his chance and captured Deki in a tight chokehold. Caught in the grip of the man, Deki felt the pressure on his neck intensify. The predatory smile and serpent-like eyes sent shivers down his spine. Panic set in, but the glint of determination in Deki's eyes remained unyielding. As the mysterious figure tightened his grip, the air thick with tension, Deki's hand gripped the katana's hilt. With a swift and desperate motion, he drew the blade, aiming to free himself from the assailants' clutches and confront the truth that lurked in the shadows. Gasping for breath, Deki found himself at the mercy of the mysterious man as the katana was taken from him. The stolen katana now wielded against him, the man left a threat of a grim transformation that hung in the air. Deki was thrown against the wall, forcing him to the ground. The impact against the wall left him dazed and defenseless, his strength waning. The man, his golden red eyes glinting with malevolence, loomed over Deki. The cruel realization that he was powerless against this unknown adversary sank in, the once reliable katana, now a weapon turned against its rightful owner. With a sinister smile, the man spoke of transformation, a way to turn Deki into the very thing that killed his mother. The deer, recovering from the earlier push, watched helplessly, unable to intervene. As the shadows closed in, Deki's face was as uncertain as his future, the threads of destiny intertwining with the darkness that had followed him since the tragic events of his past. As the man explained what he was, he knocked Deki out with a swift hit. As consciousness returned, Deki found himself in a disoriented haze. The memories of the encounter with the man with golden red eyes were foggy, and his surroundings seemed unfamiliar. Barely able to recall his own name, he gingerly sat up, surveying the area. The mystical deer stood faithfully by his side, a silent sentinel in this unfamiliar place. Deki's head throbbed with pain, and a sense of vulnerability lingered. The events leading up to his unconsciousness remained elusive, a puzzle with missing pieces. With the deer as his steadfast companion, Deki faced the daunting task of piecing together the fragments of his memory that had been lost after the man attacked him. The journey continued, fraught with uncertainty and the lingering mysteries that bound him to a destiny he was yet to unravel. A sharp pain radiated through Daki's chest as he attempted to rise. Clutching at the source of discomfort, he felt a lingering ache, a physical manifestation of the mysteries that surrounded him. The pain served as a constant reminder of the perilous journey he was on. Leaning on the support of the mystical deer, Daki steadied himself. The path ahead, shrouded in uncertainty, beckoned, and as they navigated through the echoes of forgotten memories, Daki grappled with the pain in his chest and the shadows that clung to the edges of his consciousness. With each stumbling step, Daki felt the disconcerting changes within himself. The revelation of sharp teeth only added to the growing list of mysteries surrounding his existence. Determined to unravel the truth, he pressed forward, driven by the desperate need to remember something, anything from his past. The mystical deer, sensing Daki's turmoil, remained a silent pillar of support. Together, they ventured through the unfamiliar terrain, shadows dancing around them. As fragments of memories flickered at the edges of Daki's consciousness, he clung to them, hoping they would lead him to the answers he sought. The journey continued, a quest for finding his lost memories, with the unsettling transformations that marked the uncertain path ahead.